All right, let's dive into a pivotal moment for an entire nation, and we're hearing it straight from the source, its leader, Moses. We're going to break down his account of the command that kicked off Israel's final dramatic push into the Promised Land.
First things first, to really get what's happening here, you got to understand the timeline. This story Moses is telling, it isn't something that happened last week. It is the climax of a 40-year journey. I mean, just think about that. 4 decades of wandering, starting with that incredible escape from Egypt, and it's all leading to this moment, right on the doorstep of their destination. The stakes are just unbelievably high.
So try to picture the scene. It's 40 years after the Exodus. The entire generation that left Egypt is gone. Now it's their children, a whole new generation, standing there on the banks of the Jordan River. And before they take that final step, their leader, Moses, pulls them all together for what is basically the most important history lesson of their entire lives.
And what's wild is how specific this account is. We're told it's the 40th year, the 11th month, on the very first day of the month. See, Moses isn't just giving them a quick pep talk. No, he is laying out a detailed historical record. He's walking them through every crucial command, every single challenge, and every promise that got them to where they are right now.
He kicks off his story at a place called Horeb. You might know it as Mount Sinai. This is where it all really began. After they received the law, the people kind of settled in. But a camp was never meant to be a permanent home. And so Moses reminds them of that exact moment when God said, "All right, the waiting is officially over."
And the command itself, wow, it has this incredible force to it. You have stayed long enough at this mountain. It's so direct, there's no misunderstanding it. This was the signal from God to stop settling down and to start moving forward. The waiting period was over, it was time for action.
And listen, this wasn't in order to just pack up and move to the next town over. The scope of this mission was absolutely huge. It was a command to go and possess this vast territory, from the hills of the Amorites and the Negev desert all the way up to Lebanon and the massive Euphrates River. The promise wasn't for a little plot of land, it was for an entire region.
So here's a really key point in how this whole thing is framed. It's not go and conquer a land. It's go in and take possession of the land I have given you. It's being presented as an inheritance, right? The fulfillment of a promise made generations before to their ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The outcome was basically assured. They just had to get up and do it.
But with this incredible mission came a gigantic logistical nightmare. As the nation grew and grew, Moses suddenly had a serious leadership crisis on his hands. Think about it. He was this single point of failure for a population the size of a city, and there was just no way he could manage it all by himself.
I mean, you can just hear the exhaustion in his voice here. Moses is retelling his own words to the people, just laying bare the impossible weight of it all. He wasn't just their spiritual guide, he was their CEO, their Supreme Court, and their chief social worker, all rolled into one. It just wasn't sustainable.
And to really get a sense of the scale of the problem, Moses uses this beautiful, powerful image. He reminds them, "You are as numerous as the stars in the sky." And that's not just some nice poetry. It's a statement of fact about how much they had grown and a callback to that promise made to Abraham. But that blessing came with a heck of an administrative headache.
So Moses came up with a solution, a system of delegation. And honestly, it's a brilliant hierarchical structure that people still study in leadership courses today. He told the people to pick wise, respected leaders from their own tribes. Then he appointed them as commanders over groups of thousands, hundreds, 50s, and 10s. It created this cascade of authority, pushing leadership down to the grassroots level. Now, a new structure needs new rules, right? So Moses gives these new judges a very clear code for justice, and the principles were pretty revolutionary for the time. Hear everyone out, whether they're small or great. Don't show partiality. Don't be afraid of powerful people. And if a case was just too difficult, then they were to bring it straight to him.
Okay, so the nation is organized, they've got their marching orders, now what? Well, Moses continues his story, recounting the next phase of the plan. They finally left Horeb and started that long, hard journey toward the land they were promised. They were on the move. And Moses does not sugarcoat this experience one bit. He reminds them of the journey through all that vast and dreadful wilderness. The path from the mountain to the border of their new home was not some walk in the park. It was scary, it was dangerous, and it was a serious test of their resolve. And right as they get to the border, at a place called Kadesh Barnea, the people themselves actually come to Moses with an idea.
It's a really practical, strategic move. Hey, let's send some scouts ahead. They wanted some intel on the best routes to take and what kind of towns they were about to run into.
And Moses recalls that he thought, you know what, that's a good idea. It showed some real foresight from the people. So he gets on board with the plan, picks 12 respected leaders, one guy from each of the 12 tribes, for this incredibly important recon mission.
So this is it. This is the moment of truth. After 40 years of waiting, after getting an entire nation organized, after this brutal trek through the desert, everything is now riding on what these 12 spies have to say. What were they going to find? Was the land even worth all this trouble?
And then the report comes back. The spies return, and they're even carrying fruit from the land as proof. Their verdict is unanimous, and it is crystal clear. It is a good land that the Lord our God is giving us. Yes! It's the ultimate validation. The promise was real. The land was good, and it was ready for them.
So here we are, Moses has laid it all out for his people, the undeniable command from God, the solid leadership structure he built, and the glowing report from the scouts confirming the land was everything they'd hoped for and more. The path forward seems perfectly, totally clear, which leaves us with one huge, looming question. What could possibly go wrong?